No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, SwampSwimmer, and with me, as always, the Doomblade to my vermin swarm, Vespasian.
Yes. Hey, hi everybody. I got to make an explanation for that because it was my idea. I thought we might, since we were starting to run out of historical figures and action figures and things like that, I thought it might be cool to do like an auto take list, right? So I can't remember the last time I saw a vermin swarm list without a Doomblade guy. So. Anyways, it'd be fun to see if anybody has any comments. Did we get it right, or
what
do you
is
like
the
new
what is the auto include for every armor in an army? And excuse me, it's not the Doomblade, it's Secrets of the Doomblade. Let me just make sure that's clear. But hey, we're back. It's been a few weeks since we recorded, but no big deal. We're back. Sorry for the delay. But I've got a small / big announcement to tell the folks who watch our channel. I am moving to the great city of New York City. And so we will, from probably 3 months from now, we will be hosting this YouTube channel from coast to coast, from both sides of the country. And I just wanted to do a quick shout out to any of our listeners who are in the New York area or in the boroughs of New York. I'm looking for somewhere to play. I've got a few people I know out there who play 9th Age, so I'm going to be looking for a community out there. And if you are out there, or if you know of people out there, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to know. I'd love to kind of settle into a community out there. And I've already done a little research, and I want to talk to you, Vespasian, about a little thing. Our good friend Jacopo lives out there, who used to live here in San Francisco, and he told me about the spot where he plays 9th Age is a place called Carcosa. The Carcosa Club, and it's in Brooklyn. But what makes this unique, and you definitely don't see this here on the West Coast, is it's technically a club, a definition of a club with club members who pay dues to get into the space to play. I mean, I think club members can also bring guests, so like not everyone's like excluded from the club except for the club members. But it's definitely a different model than going to the gaming store here in San Francisco. What do you think of that?
So is it? I guess is the venue like that? Like it's purposely for that. It's like a gaming location that has a membership.
I think so. I briefly researched it and looked at it. I jumped on their Discord, and it looks like it's a storefront space in Brooklyn. Majority of the space is gaming space, tables. That's the membership. And then there's a small retail space. So like normally at a gaming store, it's like what, 40 to 50% retail and then the rest gaming. This is like 80% gaming, 10% retail.
I mean, interesting business model. Obviously, the dues or subscription style is the locking in that stable income stream is a nice added bonus from the the retail side being such a sort of fluctuating demand environment. So yeah, I think that's it's a cool model. I mean, if you've got the people, it sounds really neat. How expensive is it?
I don't know the dues. It's something like $10 or $20 a month. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I mean that also could serve to to get better engagement. Meaning once you're kind of a dues paying member, you want to use it, right? So
exactly.
That's neat. Is it a good sized crew that plays 9th there?
I just know my Jacopo and Simon. I know the two people. Those are the two people I know in New York. And it seemed, at least they seem like there's a community. They tell me there's a community there, and then also on the Discord for this club, it seems pretty active on all sorts of games. Running the gambit of everything from Magic the Gathering to all the tabletop games to skirmish games. Blood Bowl and Necromunda and all that stuff. So, and everything's recent, so it looks like there's a community going with all these games. So I'm excited for it. again, shout out to the Carcosa Club. And hey, if you're in New York, hit me up. And also, speaking of which, East Coast tournaments. I'd like to know about those too, so I can. I'm jumping on. I already signed up for the Hogfest GT in Rochester, New York, in November. So I'll be now frequenting some of the East Coast tournaments.
Very cool.
But yeah,
the question is, can we still call it Glory of Golden State Gaming?
That's a very good question. Maybe it's Glory of Two Coast Gaming or something. I don't know.
Loses a little something in the. Anyways, we can tackle big decisions like that later. But congrats, man.
Thank you.
Miss you.
All right, let's jump into the battle report. Last we left off, we went through my round 1 of the Wicked GT with the skink, the farewell to the skink blender list. And round 2, I get paired into Kronos, Highborn Elves. Kronos his real name's David. He's from Nashville. Super cool guy. I actually played him randomly in an online tournament once, so that's where we remember each other from. But he's really making an effort to build a scene in Nashville and in Tennessee. He's actually running a 9th Age tournament called NashCon, or at NashCon. I think it's a larger convention that he's running a 9th Age tournament in August. So if you're in the Tennessee, I don't know what that is, south technically, I don't know, that part of the country, check out NashCon. And check out the 9th Age tournament there. I know it's going. I would love to go, but I don't think I could make it with preparing to get to New York. But he's running the 9th Highborn Elves. If you're interested in my list, the Skink Blender list, click the link right above my head. It'll take you to the round 1 video where we go into my list in a little more depth. But let's look at Kronos' list. He's got the big bad ancient dragon general high prince with great weapon cleansing light and an obsidian rock, which is fun. He's got a master in alchemy, which I think is okay for me, with a binding scroll.
This model, if I'm right about who this model is going to be very familiar to all of you. Yeah,
you hit the nail on the head. We'll get there.
Yeah.
He's got the commander with a longbow, BSB, master of the Krennic Tower. Big block is Seaguard with a flaming standard. Highboard, just 5 Lancers with discipline, 5 Reavers, a Fire Phoenix, 6 Rhymo with the flaming standard, 6 Grey Watchers, and 2 Reapers. So I think this is a fairly good matchup for me. I think I have the right magic to counter his. But all of his alchemy plus flaming standards is a little, I guess it's not even that bad for me because I'm toughness 2 most of the place, but it's really bad against the Cayman. And he's definitely gonna outshoot me. But I've got all the shamanism spells to counteract shooting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this. I'm just calling this yellow, somewhere in the middle.
Okay. Remind me, because it's been a little while. You do not have big chameleon units in this one, right?
No, that's the.
Am I remembering?
That was the flamethrower list.
Sorry, so many Saurian lists. This is not that one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that the Flame Phoenix certainly, is not healthy for that Skink Star, right? I mean, that model could kill like half the unit in a single sweep.
Yeah.
He's got a decent amount of shooting. I mean, I think you just have a lot of bodies for him to get through, right? And as you said, you can minimize the shooting damage with shamanism. So, and he doesn't have a great answer other than the ancient to get through the Thyros, which means he'll have to bang through them right over time.
Yep.
Although I guess he can use the alchemy spells for them, but yeah, and it's interesting. I like his lists a lot. It's a little thin on the ground, but it's got a lot of cool elements to it.
I agree. And speaking of models, check out that model. Looks very familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I met this guy on the forum, and basically he was like, I want your exact ancient dragon model, to just give me all the details. And so he emailed the commission painter in Poland and was like, "Give me the Vespasian," which I
The
thought was
Vespasian special,
very
give it to you.
flattering. So thanks, man.
No, I saw it. I'm like, man, that model looks familiar, and it's exact same paint scheme as yours, just as beautiful as yours. It's just an awesome model. But the one thing I noticed, he slotted in like the small base, so you could take it out and make it a regular dragon. Did you do that to yours also? Yeah.
I didn't for two reasons. One, I'd talked to a guy who used this model for his dragon, and he said that like regardless of how you did it, it was very unbalanced on a 50 by 100, and I was just worried given like it's already prone to falling and getting whacked, so I just was worried about that. One, and two, I have like 10 dragons on that nice base, so it was not a gap in my portfolio that I needed to fill, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so his deployment, on his far left, he's got the 5 Lancers, and then he's got his Ancient Dragon and the Raimas behind the Ancient Dragon. Behind the Impassable here are his Reavers, his 5 Reavers. Then is the Sea Guard block with all of his characters on foot in there. So there's the Wizard and the BSB are in there. Behind that's the Fire Phoenix. Then he's got a Reaper. Then shoot, what are these guys called? The skirmish guys?
Grey Watchers.
Thank you. Then Grey Watchers, then a Reaper, then Grey Watchers. And those scouted there. Let's see here. On mine,
I don't think they scout. You have to pay for scouts.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. My bad.
Anyways, yeah.
I've got.
Did he drop? You dropped for first?
I dropped for first.
Okay.
Yeah, I dropped for first, and so I've got out in front, vanguarding straight up are my my pterodons. From left to right, I've got my Cayman block with my Cayman Ancient in it. Skaman block 1, a Thyroscutus, the Skink Blender with all my characters in it. Thyroscutus 2, the Stygiosaur, and my last Skaman block here. So when I was dropping, I knew I wanted to go first just because his shooting was so strong, and I wanted to get some magic out on him. I knew this token that was sitting in, this is Spoils of War, obviously. This token that's sitting in water, I think is really good for me. I can go grab it, doesn't affect me, and also it turns off his flaming attacks if he pushes on me in the water. That's going to help me out with the flaming attacks. And then obviously I went for the center token, but the left token I just let it be because of this impassable. He'd have to deal with that, and also this ruins that's sitting right in front of that token. So I think those are the right move. I dropped everything in a very symmetrical layout, and then I went for those 2 tokens with my 2 Skaman blocks. And that's the way he responded. I think he was thinking about sweeping me on the left, all this cav on the left, and his Sea Guard are holding up the center, and probably just going to pressure me for the center token. I think it's, yeah, makes sense. And I get first turn. In my first turn, I realize he's coming for me on the left, so I leave the Cayman block on the hill to just try to have a zoning threat. I push up both blocks onto the tokens and pick them up next turn, and I just basically push up in the center and move the one Pterodon unit behind the wall here, so it'll be really hard for anyone to shoot this unit. The Sea Guard, I think I'm out of the charge arc of the Sea Guard with the Pterodons here. Yep. And then the magic phase, I do really, really well. I get a totemic summon off here. I think I do a swarm of insects, and I take off this whole Grey Watcher unit here. And then I think I do 1 wound to this Reaper. So it's a good start. And I think I haven't even taken the picture yet, but I think I breath weapon into this Grey Watcher unit. And yeah, I breath weapon into that Grey Watcher unit, and it fails its panic and runs to right here. So it's a good start for me. The way he responds is, again, what I thought. He kind of tries to wrap around the left here with the dragon. And he brings his Fire Phoenix over and fires the the totemic summon and kills it. He also rallies his Grey Watchers on the far right here. The really funny thing is, if you notice here, see the Lancer? See how there's one Lancer left on the token? He decided to march those Lancers onto the token to pick it up, and he rolls horribly on his dangerous terrain checks, because it's 1s and 2s through ruins for cavalry, and he kills all but one guy, and he passes his panic, but that one guy is the only one left from that Lancer unit.
Brutal.
Let's see here. I think in his magic phase, he just gets the +1 aim bonus off on his Sea Guard. Yeah. So in my turn, he gets a lash off on this Thyroscutus, and it takes 2 wounds, which is fine. So in my top of 2, the Pterodons who were behind the fence here drop rocks on that wounded Reaper, and it dies. And I turn to face and try to take off the last one. And I push up with the Thyroscutuses, and I kind of, since I picked up the tokens with both these units, the Skaman block that was in the water just basically picks it up, turns around, and starts coming back around, because there's nothing for him to fight on the right. And then these 2 units, the Skaman block and the Skaman unit that picked up the token, kind of turn to face what's coming from the left, and I throw my Pterodons here to chaff the Rymanites. Yeah, I think I take some small shooting, and then I get another totemic summon off in my turn to breath weapon these guys and either kill them or they run off the board. I can't remember which one, but the Grey Watchers were dispatched quickly, which was very nice for me. I also get Healing Waters off on this Thyro that I pushed out because I was afraid the Sea Guard would charge into him and try to break him. Yeah. And he doesn't take the bait in the center. He the bottom of, this is bottom of 2. The Fire Phoenix takes off the first totemic summon, or no, it doesn't. It just swoops around and gets ready to countercharge. He takes the charge.
I think it took off that Pterodon unit that you had there.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, he took off the Pterodon unit. He takes the chaff with both his dragon and the Rymanites here. And then he chaffs the Cayman block with his Reavers. And I don't know where he went, but the one single Lancer who's left alive has this spoil token on the left. And I don't know where he went. He basically ran off into the backfield somewhere, but he's got that token. So, oh yeah, he's right there. He's still alive. I didn't realize this. They go in, both of them clean up the chaff, obviously. And I think he tries to overrun, or he doesn't overrun, he just sits there. I take the charge with both these units into the chaff and the Rhyma, and he decides to flee with the Rhyma. Because he fled with the Rhymer, he chooses to flee with the Reavers. And then I redirect into the dragon with the Cayman. I did not realize the ancient dragon can flee. It's not fearless.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a big shocker for me.
Yeah, that model sucked if it was fearless.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's like it basically would never not get charged. It's so big.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like normally giant big monsters like that are usually fearless, so that was what was going through my head.
True. Intuitively, it feels like it shouldn't run away from anything, but
yeah. I pushed the Thyros up to stop the Sea Guard unit, because that's where they want to be.
It looks like you missed talking about some total annihilation of the Skink Star. Am I missing something?
So I was just looking at myself, and I think that's all from shooting and from magic. So he gets a lot off on that unit, and it's depleted. That's what you face with skinks against fire and shooting.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Let's see here, but it's still that's the I think that's the point of the Skink Blender unit. Even if you kill out the unit, the majority of the unit, it's still got plenty of punch because all the punch is coming from the characters.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see here. And since he's so far back like that with the way he fled on the left, I decide I'm already winning secondary. I don't think I need to kill those guys. I just decide to retreat and pull back. Because also, yeah, as exactly as you said, the Skink Blender is depleted. I've got the 2 tokens. I can really save points if I just kind of take a few steps back. If you notice, the Thyroscutus that was in front of the Sea Guard is gone. I think he got a Quicksilver lash on him and took him out. And then he also charges this one with the Phoenix.
I don't get that move. I feel like that fight goes on for like 19 rounds of combat.
Yeah, the thing is my general's not next to him, so he's only he's stubborn on a 6. Oh, and if does the Fire Phoenix cause fear?
Yeah.
Then I'm stubborn on a 5. Which is not
wow. Okay.
Which is not an automatic.
Never mind. Okay, that's good to know. Good point.
Let's see, in his turn, and I think this is where he made a mistake. He decides to go cautious and he stays back with his dragon and his Remanites. I mean, he throws his Reavers up there, but who cares about Reavers? And exactly as you said, it turns into a pillow fight here. But I do get, if you notice in the back there, I do get the second totemic summon in the flank of the Fire Phoenix. And then in my turn, I continue to run away. I keep the...
I think just your comment on his mistake, like that the Ancient can't fight that Cayman Brick, right?
Yeah.
So basically there's like a massive... Like, I think maybe if the Ancient and the Ryma's charged, maybe they could go
you'd be
through that
swinging
unit.
first, but you'd have to... I think they... Yeah, you're right. The Rymas would have to come in Simo.
Yeah, I mean, so that, like, unless he goes for that, that creates a big no-go zone for those 2 units, right? Which means it's really hard for him to press in this situation.
Yeah, I agree. I go for a little bit of a long charge with my Stygiusaur into the Flame Phoenix. You notice the Stygius, the Totemic Summon is gone. He chose to target that to kill it. Luckily, my Thyroscutus keeps sticking, which is wonderful. And that's the end of the game. I think, if I remember correctly, I do eventually take out the Fire Phoenix. He chose not to charge the flank of the Thyroscutus with his Sea Guard. I know we were running down on time. I think we only made it through 5 turns in this game. I think he didn't want to do that because he was afraid I was going to then counter a flank charge with my Skink Blender. But that ends it. It's kind of a not climactic ending. It's just kind of whatever. And I win 11-9 on points, and I get the secondary, which takes me to 14.
Yeah, pretty,
I mean,
pretty safe strategy.
Yeah, I feel like playing safe this tournament. I don't know. Do you think I should have continued to push at this point here?
You know, it's interesting. I think that you could potentially have traded one of the Skaman units for the Seaguard unit.
Oh, you think so?
Right? But the issue is that you've got the tokens in the 2 units, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really make that trade, right?
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, in another world where you had picked up the token with the star, for example, or the Caymans, I think that, you know, you could deplete that Seaguard unit pretty heavily. His characters are undefended, right? So the camp you could just dump everything into the wizard, right? The BSB, to try to take them off, right? Once the wizard and the BSB are gone, without the magic support, or a spear prince in there, the Seaguard don't stand up to anything.
Yeah.
So I think you could go in with that unit, understanding you'd probably lose it, but you'd take off equal or more points in characters, and then be able to follow up with the star to take it off. Like that I think where this is. But the issue is that, one, the objective, right? You don't want to risk the objective, and two, you at this point are out of chaff to hold off the forces on the left, so it's risky, right? I mean, I think you could have done it and gone for the 20, but at the same time, I think that like the deployment that your opponent used, clustering all of his shooting over in like kind of an easy place to take it all off on the right hand side, like it allowed you to go up on points and objective pretty easily. So like a safe 14 versus a risky 20 after a big win in round 1. I mean, I think the strategy's sound for the overall tournament performance. I think you could have 20'd him, like if you'd taken the risk, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I did get lucky with magic, and I was able to take off his shooting really quickly on the right. But obviously this shooting and magic, you can see how depleted the Skink Blender unit is. Yeah, it was a great game. I think it was just a very cagey kind of not aggressive game, but yeah, that leaves me at, what did I get, a 17 plus a 14, so a 31 after 2 games, which is pretty solid. And just a big thanks to David for the game. Again, if you're looking for a tournament in the Tennessee/Nashville area, check out NashCon. And we'll get on to the next battle report next time. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.